Good morning. I hope everybody is well this morning. It's Sunday morning and it is time to do some figure drawing. I am using the Croquis Cafe, number 452, and I am going to do some studying. And then, hopefully everything goes okay. So I'm trying something a little bit new with the chat. I tried to add it to the on screen when through OBS. So hopefully it works right. So anyway, I'm gonna get started here. So the Croquis Cafe is basically just a weekly figure drawing session. It simulates a figure drawing class where they'll have a model, they'll do timed poses that you draw, and so typically it's usually a couple of 1 minute poses, couple of 2 minute poses, some 5 minute poses, and then that's it. So it's about a half an hour, 20 minutes long, and we'll see how it goes. So I haven't drawn it all this morning. I pretty much got up and came down to the studio, and we'll get going here. All right, and if anybody has any questions at all, just throw them in the chat. Anyway, so let's get going. First pose looks like it's a 1 minute pose, and it's seated. And typically these first couple of poses, I'm really just working, because they're only 1 minute, I'm just working on like my stick figure, or basic kind of mannequin. This is a seated pose. It's only 1 minute long, so I'm not concerned about getting, like a beautiful drawing or anything. It's more just getting the basic ideal of the pose. She's on a bench. Okay, just getting set up for the next pose. Oh wow, this is she's being very ambitious today. Neck. Arm, hand, far arm. Sorry about the if you guys are hearing that, my dogs are quite loud. I like to snore a lot. I got 2 pugs. There you go. Wow, this model's very strong. Like, she held like that pose the whole time. She had like a ball she was holding with her legs, and she was just like in midair. Alright. Next pose, I'm going to draw a little bit smaller. You know, I find that sometimes when I draw smaller, it's a little bit easier. This one's got, you know, a nice line of action. So I'm going to just carry that through down to the 1 foot. And then I'm going to hit her other back leg, which is actually the one that's supporting her weight. Other arm. She's got her hand, and she's holding a ball. And that's it. I think that one turned out pretty good. You know, it's got all the main ideals in it. Okay. This is sort of kneeling back pose. So again, I start with the head, the spine, comes out, goes back in, and the body's kind of twisting, so now I'm going to go back up with the main an egg shape for the rib cage. Come back down and get like the tailbone, and then I'm gonna do like a kind of oval for the hips, and just sticks for the arms. Just get this arm back here supporting her on this box. Leg, foot, other leg, which is like really foreshortened. It's kind of a weird pose. Stretch. Now I'm looking at her, her head is really small there. Okay, so now she's doing, she's laying down. These poses are usually a little bit trickier for me. So I'm going to start from kind of the thing that's closest to me. So her legs first and work my way up. And it's just really just another, you know, approach or way to attack it. Sometimes I find it a little bit easier to especially when it's kind of foreshortened with like seated and or lying down or whatever, where the figure's going off in the space away from me, to start at the object or whatever, the part of the body that's closest. That's it. Alright, so I think that's all. That was all the 1 minute poses. So now we'll go to the 2 minutes. Alright, so we got a seated pose. And now these poses I'm going to draw more of a little bit more structure in the figure. I got a little bit more time. Just really leaning back here. So now, instead of just drawing stick figure, I'm going to try to add like some more volume to the figure. Hips here. Knees are a little foreshortened. That one. Now I'm looking at it already. I can tell that her head feet is too small. So with the magic of digital, I'm going to increase the size. Now she's got a nice long neck. So when I'm drawing that, I want to try to, I guess, exaggerate. It's better to err on the side of exaggeration when it comes to, especially like most figures. I would rather have it be elongated a little bit. I think it looks a little nicer versus being really short and like stubby. Alright, that's it for that one. Alright, the next one, standing pose. It's a back pose also. Start a ball for the head. Her head's like a sort of a rear 3/4. The neck, spine, like her tailbone. She's kind of leaning a little bit, and I'm gonna push that a little bit more than what's in the actual reference. Arm. She's holding a ball back here. Arm. Okay. Draw our hips. I want to since her weight's all on this this front leg here, I want to make sure that I get that hip going up, other leg coming back. Basically got that shoulder and that hip kind of following the same direction there. They're setting up for the next pose, so I got like a little extra time I'm going to throw in. So she's kind of, next pose, she's kind of kneeling on a bench. Again, these are usually more challenging. I think it's because, like, you know, most of the time when I'm practicing poses that are standing. So this is a weakness of mine, drawing you know, like seated poses and kneeling and stuff like that. So side views, so that's It's good to get these poses because then it's going to push me. Spine up. Rounded. Kind of arching her back a little bit more. Just create a little more tension. And that's one thing that I try to do. Is don't, I'm using the pose as reference, but I'm not a slave to it, or I try not to be. Because you're trying to, you're translating a three-dimensional object onto a two-dimensional piece of paper, or in this case, since I'm drawing on the iPad on the screen or whatever. And the more you can push things, the more life it'll give it. So that means a little bit of an exaggeration. Alright, so now this is another seated pose, and again, a little bit more, complicated. So this one's got a lot of body parts all over the place. So, you'll see in a second here. She's got like her arms and legs interlaced between each other. Start with this. I think with this one I'm gonna go for more like an overall. I'm gonna create like an envelope or an overall shape here that I'm gonna try to stick within. Sometimes that helps too. Leg down, arm, come across, other arm is a little bit across there. Other leg snakes through, see what I mean? Like there's all this like, interweaving of stuff, and then her head needs to be bigger. So I think that worked a little better. And then, alright, the last pose is a 5-minute one, and it's standing. So now we definitely got a little bit more time. Okay. Shoulder, arm, which is kind of action. Coming down. Knee area. Calf. And draw through. I'm going to pick up this other leg here. Foot. Now this is kind of long. Again, I'd rather be long than short. And then so now I can go in here and just kind of refine things, because I got like the basic ideals going on, main structure of the body, which is the most important thing for me, is that. So once that's in, the rest is just detail. So throw in some hair, straight, kind of come down. This arm in the back is way foreshortened and looks like really small. So I'm gonna, and she's kind of a pretty fit model here. I definitely want to try to capture that. I think right in here might be a little too long. Bring it up a little. Right there. Now this is, arm is a little bit more like that. Alright, that's all for the 5-minute pose. I didn't get the whole thing in, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to actually pause the video, and so I'm going to kind of work on this one a little bit more. So I'm going to make a few adjustments. So right there, I just kind of straightened her torso out a little bit, just to kind of create a bigger like arc in her spine and her body. This foot up. Create a kind of surface so it looks like she's standing on something and not air. And so let's work on her face a little bit. Work on getting a head shape that's more in proportion. Oh, yeah, that back arm is really foreshortened there. So it looks a little weird to me. I don't think I'm capturing it quite right. So the face, I'm just gonna do really like just simple features. You know what it is? I think her head is too big. See, I'm really thinking about stuff when I stop running my mouth. Yeah, this is a little bit more of a challenge for me. I'm a little thinner. Jump down here. To her leg. And I feel like it might be that reason why this doesn't feel doesn't feel exactly right. Let's try this. That feels a little better. Well, that's it. I'm not done with this one. Not perfect. But you know what? That's alright. The next time I'll try something different. Or, you know, like I can right here try to work on her head. I was wrong today. My arm's at a weird angle, so it keeps falling asleep. Anyway, her face, her chin, her neck, and then like her trap kind of comes down in front of her neck because it's more of like a side view. She's kind of twisting. So we pick up that other trap, goes into her shoulder. And her shoulder is basically, because the foreshortening is like almost right up in her her forearm. So you get like her shoulder and right to the forearm. And their head is slightly tilted. I would say a little bit down. So we're going to get the socket for her eye. Triangular shape for her nose. Kind of a ball for her mouth. Pick up her chin. And I think also this distance right here is a little off. And go in there and clean that up a little bit. I apologize about all the dogs snoring in the background if you can hear that. Go. She's got her hair. Comes up. Like that. Now she's got her hand on her head. It's her thumb. Her hair's gonna come around and wrap. It's gonna come back through. a little better for the face, I think. Try to exaggerate some of the shapes a little bit. So like her the front of her face has a lot of details and like ups and downs and stuff. And so I try to flatten out the back of her head with her hair. Just kind of creates more of a variation or contrast. That's the word to use, contrast. It just kind of made her neck too thick, I think. Here, a little space there. Her ear. Her eye is way too big too. It's always a fun part, just like tweaking things. Drawing women is definitely a challenge, you know. More lines you add, the either the older or it just doesn't look as appealing. That's probably as close as I'm getting it today. But anyway, that's probably about it for today. So again, I usually do these Sunday mornings about 6 o'clock Chicago time. And I appreciate anybody who took the time to watch the stream or whatever. So the following next month is February. It's kind of a figure drawing month, themed month from the Croquis Cafe and Love Life Drawing, which is a YouTube channel. I'm all about like figure drawing and life drawing and stuff like that. It's basically I want to say that it's a bunch of poses every day for the month of February, and yeah, I'm gonna try to participate with that this month, just to try to build my skills up, my figure drawing skills up more. It's definitely one of those skills that takes lots of practice, and I mean, you can see like I struggled a little bit, or I was struggling today, and the only way to get better is to keep practicing and pushing. So it's never going to be one of those you go to one class and you're done and you don't have to practice anymore. It's a lifelong pursuit. It takes lots of time and effort, and I always find that the more effort you can put into a thing, the better your results are going to be. Typically, you're not always going to win, but I know at least with art and stuff, if you don't give up, you will improve. And that's what keeps me going. You see so many great artists out there that you admire or whatever, and you're just like, how do they do it? How are they so good? And really, it's just the dedication, time and dedication that they've set aside and committed to. Again, that's just the only way. So anyway, yeah, I appreciate you guys, and if you like what I'm doing, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you